now becoming a common occurrence. Those who are out on bail end up dead on the street. We'll bring you those details coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
The creative ideas of these business owners have earned them the opportunity, thanks to Island Luck and Own Bahamas, to get some much-needed capital. I'm Clint Watson. Stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
And Sandals employees may get a new industrial agreement soon. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie preparing to travel to the island of Jamaica tomorrow, where he will co-chair an advanced meeting of CARICOM leaders as head of the CARICOM community with United States President Barack Obama. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the group is expected to discuss economic opportunities, law enforcement assistance, and other issues of regional concern. The Prime Minister will then, along with his CARICOM colleagues, travel to Panama City for the 7th Annual Summit of the Americas set for this Friday and Saturday. The theme is Prosperity Through Equity, with the challenge of cooperation in the Americas. Now, according to the summit's website, the Summit of Americas is an institutionalized gathering of the heads of states and governments of the Western Hemisphere, where leaders discuss common policy issues, affirm shared values, and commit to concerted action at the national and regional level to address continuing and new challenges faced in the Americas. Issues to be discussed also include education, health, energy, the environment, migration, security, citizen participation, and democratic governance. The summit happens every 3 years. A number of persons released on bail in recent times are apparently becoming targets for criminals.
In the past several days, 2 men whom police confirmed were granted bail were killed this past holiday weekend. It's a major concern for Commissioner of the Bahamas Department of Corrections, Patrick Wright.
He tells our Janaea Noel Ferguson tonight that those on remand may be seeking bail just to get back on the streets.
Many sectors of society often call out for no bail. That's for those accused of murder. But authorities now face a challenge where those on bail are being gunned down or killed on the street. Patrick Wright, acting commissioner of the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, acknowledged that it is a growing issue.
I think just one on Saturday, I believe, had on an ankle bracelet and said he just got released. So it seems to be as if a number of them, after leaving the facilities, end up dead.
Now, last year, Minister of State for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez revealed that 134 persons were granted bail for serious offenses between January and August 2014. However, that figure only accounted for 21% of the total bail applications made by the people charged with serious crimes. There were 620 bail applications made during that same time. Now, this year's figures have not yet been released, and it is unclear of how many of those 134 persons were murdered while on bail. Now, Wright says that while you may think those who are on remand may want to remain in prison for their protection, he says it's quite the opposite, as those on remand normally have a high demand for bail.
They are always seeking bail, to make their court date, and they are innocent until proven guilty.
Wright said prisoners and those on remand have not expressed any concern about safety when they are being released from prison or are granted bail.
If an inmate shares those concerns with me, it's my duty to bring it to the attention of the commissioner that those persons fear for their lives and who those persons are, who they fear.
He says there is no direct correlation between street gang violence and inmates in prison ordering hits or calling for the death of another on the street.
I have no truth of that, but we know some persons is claiming that persons are being tampered with, witness tampering, that sort of things, but that's yet to be proven. But you don't come to prison and join a gang. Some instances that might happen. All depends on your affiliation, on where you live. But most persons come to us, they come already with a background.
The acting prison commissioner says the challenge with crime stems from the community and it will take a concerted effort to change things around, one he says that the entire country has to buy into. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Now, you may have seen it over the weekend if you were online or on any social media. It was a video showing a confrontation between two men, and it went viral. A man and a woman, though, have now been arrested in connection with that assault video. ZNS News has opted not to show the video due to its graphic nature, but we can tell you that police initiated an investigation into the matter after receiving an official complaint from the victim. The investigation led to the arrest of the male and his girlfriend by officers of the flying squad. Investigations are ongoing. From the court now, the CEO of FML Group of Companies, Craig Flowers, appeared in the Court of Appeal today. He's appealing his 2009 conviction for illegal gaming when Flowers was convicted and sentenced to 2 years. The court also confiscated almost $1 million that police had seized during a raid on FML web shops. During today's proceedings, the court granted Flowers' attorney, Alfred Sears, permission to amend the grounds for the appeal. The court will hear that matter on April 16th. Still in the court, testimony began today in the rape and armed robbery trial of Thorne Cooper, who was accused of raping and robbing a pastor's wife inside a church back on June 15th of 2013. During today's proceedings, a scenes of crimes technician testified that he processed the crime scene on the day the incident happened. He indicated that he found fingerprints on the trunk of a red Honda that was parked in the yard, and also found fingerprints on a blind of the office window and shoe impressions in a male bathroom in the building. Under cross-examination, the officer said he did not recall seeing any blood, saliva, or semen at the crime scene. The case continues before Justice Ian Winder.
Now to labor news. The Court of Appeal has lifted an injunction barring strike action by Sandals Royal Bahamian employees represented by the Bahamas Hotel Maintenance and Allied Workers Union. Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson says that ruling was made on April 1st after Sandals sought to have a Supreme Court ruling in the union's favor overturned. The Hotel and Maintenance Union has been embroiled in a battle to be recognized as the bargaining agent for Sandals line staff since 2006, with Sandals filing an action with the Court of Appeal seeking an order to have the registrar of the trade unions cancel the union's registration.
Successful in the Court of Appeal discharging the injunction, making the way possible for Sandals, the maintenance union, to sit and to begin the process of negotiations.
Ferguson confirmed a letter was delivered to Sandals today notifying the resort of its intent to begin negotiations for an industrial agreement Friday. Hotel Maintenance Union President Lyndon Taylor says he's ready to get on with negotiations.
Glad to see that the Court of Appeal has ruled in our favor, lifted this appeal, canceled this appeal, and have our strike certificate free. So now we say to the workers today that we will sit and negotiate on your behalf with these same employers, and we just hope that they do what they say they're going to do. Sit down and negotiate in good faith.
A Bahamian foundation dishing out some $100,000 to help launch new businesses. Own Bahamas has made it clear that their mission was to empower Bahamians through ownership. And just a month later after its launch, the manifestation of that goal is being realized. Clint Watson introduces us tonight to the first cycle of winners.
I haven't even slept. I don't think I'm going to sleep for a month now.
This day, this historical day, is the day that we are saying for ourselves that we are going to own a part of this Bahamas.
They're the 10 successful candidates out of the 1,000 applicants to secure a grant for their new business concepts courtesy of Island Lock's own Bahamas Foundation. One out of the two $25,000 grant winners is Yolette Etienne with her Vinnie's Natural Factory, which processes the entire coconut.
I began this about 3-4 years ago, but now it's just started to take momentum. And it's going to really explode now that I have an opportunity to purchase machinery, which is really sorely needed. It's been really a struggle to find funding anywhere.
The second grand winner is Gregory Cooper, who has a recycled waste products company using scrap tires to make rubber products.
I found where the tires could be a viable product for me to process, collect, process, and export in my first phase. And moving forward, I would like to start making rubber products.
The other winners receive $5,000 each and two receive $10,000 each. Island Lock CEO Sabaz Bastian notes that two of the winners are from Andros and Eleuthera. Bastian says because of the challenges that young business persons face in this country with getting financing for their ventures, this program plays a vital role.
I am 100% committed to empowering as many Bahamians as I can. We cannot do it alone. I know that part of the crime problem that we face in our nation today is due to lack of opportunity. And if we can provide the type of opportunity needed, we can really start to reduce crime, reduce the unemployment percentage rate, and most of all, finally own our Bahamas.
Winners receive 2 years free internet service from BTC as well as free advertisement in the Nassau Guardian newspaper and radio, 1 year free garbage collection from United Sanitation, and an all-expense paid 3 weeks business course at COB. Following this, funds will be issued directly to suppliers and service providers for the businesses. For the two big winners, Bastian says he was so encouraged by their proposals that he will personally accompany them to China for the business trade fair and will personally mentor them in their endeavors. And if you weren't successful in the first cycle, you still have 2 additional cycles this year that you can apply for. The second cycle begins taking applications in June of this year. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Who let the cows out? It's a story you will only see here.
And from that, Girl Guides, go camping. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Letty, designed for extra miles.